Hello, everybody. Hello. Wow, you're really awake. Thank you so much for being here, trying to demystify the regular expressions with me. I'm sure many of you already have some type of knowledge about it. This is very much RegEx 101, and I'm saying RegEx. I'm sorry for people who say RegEx or RegEx or whatever you say. I'm not entering the GIF competition here. We can talk about it after. I have opinions. You can follow along this. It was very much thought as a workshop where people would do things as we go. So you can follow if you want. There's everything in the GitHub repo. And also, I encourage you to open regex101.com. I'm going to be showing you that just in a moment. The slides are there, so if you want to go back to it afterwards, feel free to. A couple disclaimers. You don't need advanced math to understand regular expression. Yes, it is from math, but you don't need math to understand it. You just have to learn it and practice. So really, do try it at home. That's how you actually will get the hang of it. So right here, I'm going to show you this tool. I don't have time today to actually, for every example, show you how it works, but I encourage you to try it. That's my favorite one. And the repo is like that. Useless README, as it should. Slides from my colleague Paul, who's the original author of this talk. My slides, and some text examples. You have lots of content here. It's all in the slides, so feel free to go and test it out. OK. Now, oh, what's this? A fail. Interesting. Ah. Yay! Demo effect! Don't you love it? Now I'm locked out of my slides, which is fantastic. I'm a professional. Don't try this at home. Wait. Of course. I'm still sharing this, which is great security as well. Great. Well, I'm sure you're very eager to learn about my password, but I will try to do that. No. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Sorry, folks. One of these days. So if you've never seen anyone crash live, here I am for you. Happy to oblige. So regular expressions, they come from math. It's basically a way to describe language through mathematics equations. So again, like I said, it comes from the math world, but you don't actually need to be a math person to understand them. And now my screen is all messed up, but we're good. Yay! Did I tell you that usually it takes 50 minutes and I go over and I have 35 minutes and I screwed 5 minutes? Yay. So. Yay! Thank you. My favorite work. So, introduction. They were created by Stephen Cole Clean in 1951. They describe language, but I already told that. And basically, it's just a math guy trying to explain language. So there you go. That's the origin of it. But what you want to know is what the hell is this, right? Well, worry not. At the end of this session, you will understand it. So basically, it's a sequence of characters that specify a search pattern. That's what we're doing. We're creating a pattern and searching in a vast amount of text for the piece that we're interested in. And obviously, it's not a programming language. It's not that. And it's not unlearnable. You can do it. I promise you. I did it. And I have a degree in English language. So it's available for everybody. But also, it's not the perfect solution to every problem. And I'm sure some of you have already encountered the issue in your code where a regular expression actually costs you more than other, like a simple SQL query, for example. So it's a great tool. You're responsible with how you use it. I'm not. Of course, obligatory comic here. Leave you some time to enjoy the artistry. So what can you use them for, right? Finding text is pretty obviously the first thing that comes to mind. Did you know that you can use regular expressions in Google Docs and Word? Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to ask you to interact a bit, because I'm already stressed, so please don't leave me hanging. Thank you, thank you. So you didn't know. Wow, you learned something. Also, you can use it for validating text, obviously. I'm sure you've all seen email validation type thing. Yes! Thank you! Of course, you can use it to manipulate strings. I love this energy. Did you know that you can use it in Excel and Google Sheets? Amazing! So now you know where to use it, but how do you use it? Well, that's the fun part. So there's a lot of different types of characters. You have literal characters, special characters, character classes, shorthand character classes, characters everywhere. So the syntax is what makes it fun, right? We'll go over all of these, which is why please hang on to your seat, because it's going to go fast. Literal character, this is pretty obvious. If you're looking for foo, it's a valid regular expression. Congratulations. See, you were already doing it. You didn't even know. Amazing. But of course, that would be too easy. If I can do Control F in text and search for foo, why do I need regular expression, right? So let's go into, oh, interesting, delimiters. So all these characters, you can group them by type, which is nice. But you'll see that it's not as easy as it looks. So delimiters, this is the most common. I'm sure you've seen this. If you go back to the tool that I showed you earlier, regexquantifiers.com, this is the default one. So this is basically what tells the engine that this is the beginning of my pattern, this is the end of my pattern, the rest is probably your code or something else. So yeah, for us in PHP, slash is obviously the most common. But you can look for deeper explanation on what each of these represent. I'm not going to do that. Or maybe come back next year for RegEx 102, I don't know. But yeah, I touched upon the engine, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. There's plenty to learn. But yeah, these are called flavors sometimes, and different engines will give you different results. So this is basically the software that will compute your pattern. So be careful with that, because not every engine is the same. So you might have bad surprises if you don't check first what you're using. And they implement standards in their own way, but the standards themselves are not really strict. So you might have surprises. So always test in the RegEx tools first. And about these, there's not only RegEx 101, it's just my favorite one, so I'm pushing it to you, but you have other online options. Feel free to try them out, see what you like. But you also can install them on your machine directly. I don't really have a good Linux version. If you know some, let me know. I will update the slides. I go online. So, special characters. This is exactly why you're here today. We also call them meta characters, and there are 12 of them, and that's a lot. Here they are, all the characters that we're going to go over one by one. So now is the time to focus, right? I'm watching you. First of all, we have anchors. So here the caret is an anchor. Specifically, it means this is the beginning of a string or a line. So for example, the regular expression would be the one on the bottom. You have examples on each slide that you can try for yourself. It just means you're looking for that at the beginning of the line, right? But there are other anchors, obviously. The $sign is an anchor, but for the end of the line. So you're not going to have the same results whether you anchor for the beginning or the end, or don't anchor at all. But as a bonus, this is a little advice, you should anchor. Because, of course, it will help you be more efficient and get the result you're looking for. I don't know if you can read it easily. I'm sorry, it couldn't really increase the size. But for the first example, you're using the end of the line anchor, the $sign, so you're only getting back the last word of the sentence treasure. But if you're looking at the second example, it's the start of the line anchor, pretty basic, you're getting the first one. If you don't anchor, you're going to get all of the treasures, which is good if you're a pirate, but sometimes you need to go straight to the point. So whenever you can, be mindful of that. It's just save the planet, use less resources, yay. After that, we have character classes. So the opening square bracket defines the beginning of the character class, and it allows you to define, for example, A to Z. I want to find something that uses any character between A to Z. And of course, it's case sensitive, so be careful. But by itself, it doesn't really, it doesn't really do anything. It allows you to define a range. So if you don't have the closing square bracket, it doesn't do anything. It will be interpreted as a literal character. So special characters, sometimes they go by 2. So inside the character class, you do not need to escape special characters, except 4 of them, which are listed here. So that's why I'm saying practice makes perfect. That's a lot of information. And I'm sure you're like, how am I supposed to remember all of this? Play with it. That's the only way. Use the slides, have fun. But basically, yes, if you see a square bracket and it's not being closed somewhere, it's just literally the square bracket you're looking for. Negation. So now we're using the caret. But wait, didn't we say that was the anchor character? Yeah, I didn't say it was easy, all right? I said it was fun. So basically, when you're using the caret inside the character class, then it negates the inside of the character class. So again, that's why you're supposed to escape it, like we said earlier, if you want to literally look for this or use it as an anchor. Have fun with that. So by themselves, each characters are pretty easy, but when you combine them together, that's when you get the really funny thing. So yeah, sorry. Just for that, be careful. If you see an opening square bracket, you have to be very attentive to any type of special character that is after that, because they sometimes have weird behaviors. You also have shorthand character classes. So remember when I told you you can look for A to Z? It's easy, just A-Z inside your class. But that's maybe not enough for what you want to do. What if you want to look for everything all at once? So you can do that with these special character classes. There are so many, I can't list them all, but the most known is anti-slash, backward slash, I don't know how you say that, D, which is shorthand for digits. So sometimes it makes sense, you know. So you have all of these, which are very useful, so you don't end up with this very long pattern that really does nothing for you, it's hard to read. As you get familiar with these, you can use them. Again, be careful with the engines, because sometimes they're not doing the same with these shorthands. But yeah, I think, yeah, around 30-ish shorthand classes. Again, it's pretty much like your keyboard shorthands. Either you use them or you don't. It's up to you, but they're there. So feel free to use them. The weird one, I couldn't really find a way to classify this one. Dot. It's here. It will match anything except line breaks. So if you say bar dot, it can be anything from, I don't know, barracuda to bar mitzvah or whatever. Bar star, it can be anything. So use it with caution, my friends. You have great power here. you also have something that I think everybody's familiar with that, right? The pipe, alternation. It does exactly what you expect it to do. It's either or. So you're either looking for bar or foo. No trick here, I promise. It's just a pipe. It might be really, really useful, but warning! It actually has a trick, sorry, highlight. Be careful what you're looking for with that pipe, because you will always get the first result, the one you put on the left. This is what it's going to be looking for first. So if you're looking for cat and cats, it will return cat all the time, because that's the first thing it gets, the first match. There's no reason for the engine to keep looking after cats, because it matches, right? So if you want to also make sure you have cats, maybe put it on the left. So a little trick here, but it's more on the engine side. It's not really pipe, so I didn't lie as much as I said. Then we have quantifiers. That's a whole group of different characters that you can use. They all do something different, but once you get the idea, then it should be fine for you to understand the rest. So question mark, it marks the, well, I don't know how to explain that. The preceding token, so basically it just means I want this 0 or 1s. So here, foo, and then dollar, no, question mark. I have time, why am I rushing? Let's do this again. So, question mark is a quantifier, and when you put it before a token, it means you want this 0 or 1s. So you want foo followed by either nothing or one-time bar. That's what it does. But you have to be careful of what we call greediness. So if, again, we're taking our cats and you're looking for cats, and then you're saying, OK, I want maybe one S or no S. If there's cats, it will always return cats. It will never match cat. Because there's one, so it wants to give you, hey, I found it. There's an S. Yay. So be careful about that as well. I think that's why we're saying just test it out. Test it out. Don't forget to add many examples and see what it does, because sometimes it's just not very intuitive. So question mark means this is here 0 or 1 time. Star means 0 or more times, so from 0 to any number, right? So here, I did say that the other way around, right? Yeah, thank you for noticing. I see some people follow. Thank you. So yeah, that's foo. And then you're looking for as many O's, whether there's 1 or 1,000 O's, it will return the match. Oh man, what a day. I'm messing you up, I'm sorry. I said it wasn't hard, but it is. Then plus basically means at least 1 time. So now if you have just FO and then other stuff, it will not match, because you need at least the second O once. Then you can have as many as you want, but yeah. And finally, another couple that go together, the fancy brackets. It means you can specify how many times exactly you want. So if you want this O to be there at the minimum 2 times, at the maximum 3 times, this is what it means. You can also put only 1 number and say, I want it exactly twice. It's up to you. So either you use one of the 3 first quantifiers to have like any number, once, more, many numbers, or you can decide specifically how many times you want it for an exact match. So this is the syntax. Min is the first number, max is the second number. Of course, min has to be at least 0. You cannot put negative numbers here. It wouldn't make any sense. I'm just saying, because I know you like to break things. Don't do it. There's no point. Of course, max has to be an integer. I'm seeing you, people. Yeah, min-max, pretty classic syntax here. So if you think about it, 0, 1 basically is the same as question mark. 0, nothing is pretty much the star. And 1 and nothing means plus. So it's basically shorthand quantifiers for you, right? If you don't add the comma, this means exactly this number. I already told you that. But of course, again, the ending doesn't mean anything if you don't have the opening. It will just be interpreted as a literal character. So again, they go together, or they're just literally the bracket character. And now for our special characters end of the list, grouping. So parentheses, pretty easy. It's a group. If you place a pattern inside that, it means just like you would do in math, basically. It's isolated. For example, here, with a pipe, it makes it pretty useful to look for either the English spelling or the American spelling of a word. That's one example. So you want to look for all the occurrences of a theater, but sometimes it's ER, sometimes it's RE. There you go. You just group. The ending will be either one or the other. You're good. You can obviously combine it with all the other special characters that you've seen before, and that's how you get the hellish type of thing we've seen in the beginning. So we're good, right? Grouping. This is the end of special characters. Or is it? Capturing. But there's the same characters, right? Sorry, I didn't write it, and don't look at me. So capturing. Basically, what you're placing inside the parentheses will also mean that you're capturing this. So when you match, it will return this for you to reuse, possibly in your code, because you would be looking for things, basically, you want to manipulate them after that. So it's another way of making sure that you get back what you're looking for. So yeah, it does everything. Parentheses, amazing. So here they are, all our special characters. I'm sorry that I went so fast, because I know it's a lot of information. Usually, I would type an example live to show you exactly how it works and not mess the explanation of one of them. But, you know, that's how it is. So literal characters, these special characters, with classes, parentheses, you can do pretty much anything you want in terms of a specific search. But, you know, there's a way to practice that is pretty fun, and we encourage you to give it a try. It's Wordle. How long have you stopped playing Wordle? You know? Everybody was playing it all the time. I know you do, but you wrote the talk, so yeah, we know it's you. So it's pretty funny because in the repo that I mentioned earlier, you have a list of English words of 5 letters, all the existing ones, and then you can try and find the pattern to actually get going, right? So just usually that's how you start to look for specifics. And if you want to do more than one, because of course one is not fun enough, there's other options. Wordlegame.org, you have unlimited amount of puzzles, so you can do 10 in a row, and that will give you a good grip on how to search, right? So basically, the logic is just type one word, see what it tells you, and then decide that the second character can never be an E, and you know, or that A is never there. But you know how to do that now, right? Just the idea of how you position, how you anchor everything, and it will filter all the examples for you. Crossword puzzles, I think this is a very popular one. Many people know of it. And then golf, because why not? You can do everything with this regular expression. So resources. Paul is here. He's the mastermind. He created this. Thank you, Paul. But also, you have all these other resources where it's better explained than what I did today. If you like to read, it's a lot more easier to copy-paste stuff, obviously. You also have the repo I mentioned earlier, and thank you. So unexpectedly, I have time for questions because I fumbled this. So do you have any questions? OK. You are too far. I'm not going to kill you or the people in between. So raise your hand. Yeah. Fight.
Hi.
Hi.
All right, if you were writing several patterns, is there any way to have, say, a parent? If you know that every pattern starts with ABC, but the ending is different in, let's say you're running through a few different options for something. You know, each pattern might be used for a different purpose.
Sorry,
but
I don't hear you very well. So if you have a pattern that...
So if you have, I was asking, is there any way to have like a parent or like base multiple patterns so that they all start with the same characters, for example?
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understand. Can you give me an example or?
Let's say that you have two patterns that are being used for different purposes, but you know they're always going to start with ABC. Would you be able to make it so that that is a given? Would you be able to combine things?
Yeah, with grouping, I think you can do that. Because you can say ABC in your parentheses and then search for whatever the ending is. Is that?
I suppose I'm meaning like if, like combining strings together, you could always do it many times in your code. Well, perhaps I don't think I've explained this well. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm very tired, so I may misunderstand your question.
It's okay. I can ask after.
No, but Paul, you had.
So you want a match? Can you explain it one more time?
So, all right. So it's about creating multiple patterns. So not just one pattern that does it all, but let's say you have uses for different patterns, maybe different groups and complexity. But you know that every pattern is going to contain a certain selection of things. Is there a way to sort of create parents or say that you could write the core section once rather than writing it many times?
So yes, you could do at the beginning and then using grouping, you could build your other patterns to alternate between the other options that you want. However, in that particular case, I would probably dynamically build your pattern with whatever string concatenation that you have and then use it at that point. So have a base string, expression, and then in your different situations, concat those in the ways that you need.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry, I was really not there. Any other question for? Oh no, not you. That's my colleague. I know.
Thank you for all that. That was great. I've used regular expression for years, struggle with those, and every time I struggle to find a good regex for validating domains, validating emails, validating some official stuff. And those times that those standards evolve over time.
Yeah, exactly.
My personal email has a domain with the TLD with 5 characters, and I can't register on United because they don't think it's an email.
Yeah.
So either ask someone as a good resource.
The problem here, sorry, yeah, I hope it caught it, but the problem here is not with the regular expression. The problem is with the standards of what is a valid email and how people implement that. What is a valid password? And, you know, it's just, it's not that easy. Have you ever looked at the specs of URIs? It's really, really hard to actually define what a valid URI is, because it can be so many things. And if you want to write a regular expression for that, well, good luck. Because that's basically why we have not implemented these standards really well, right? So for emails, it's a regular struggle. It has nothing to, you can find the best regular expressions, but the truth is, you cannot handle all the cases, and in the end, your app probably does not handle it, because you don't manually do it most of the time. You reuse existing libraries, and they don't implement all of the rules. So yeah, basically, you could have an email that's just at, and there's nothing after that, just one character, but no one actually agrees with that, right? It could be a@b.c. That's valid. So I think in that case, specifically for email, what I tend to do is just validate these by sending an email, and they have to confirm. And that's when you know that they are valid, right? Because a lot of regex for this, they remove the ability to add plus, for example. But I want to filter your spam that you're sending me, so I'm not going to give you my real email. I will give you plus spam, you know, because I want to play the game, but I don't want to get the spam after that. I want to filter it. And most of the time, when you reuse a regular expression that you find online because you don't understand it, you just copy-paste it, and then you've removed the ability for people to actually do that. So yeah, just test it by sending an email. That's my answer. I think we're out of time, or yeah. Thank you so much for being so patient.